Picture this. You've just brought home a Rottweiler. They don't bound into the room like a goofy puppy. They stroll in with a slow, deliberate step, scanning their new home like they're assessing security perimeters. Their eyes don't dart around nervously. They move with precision, reading the room in seconds. That first night, they sleep like they've lived there for years. You start to think, wow, this is going to be easier than I thought. For the first week, everything feels perfect. People stop you on the street commenting on how beautiful and well-behaved your new dog is. Your friends admire their confidence. You feel like you've joined an elite club. You post pictures, you brag a little, and in the back of your mind you think, I'm a natural at this. Then little things start happening. Not disasters, not yet, just subtle moments. The way they hold your gaze for a second too long when you give a command. The way they hesitate before sitting, as if deciding whether it's really worth their time. The way they position themselves between you and a visitor without you asking. It's not defiance, it's assessment. A Rottweiler doesn't just obey blindly. They decide whether your leadership is worth following. They're not stubborn for the sake of it. They're careful. They want to know if you mean what you say. And here's the thing most Rottweiler owners don't tell the world. Those little moments are make or break. Handle them right, and your dog respects you for life. Handle them wrong, and you'll be working uphill for months. This is why so many owners keep quiet. Because to the outside world, talking about these challenges sounds like complaining about the very thing you chose. But anyone who's lived with a Rottweiler knows, this is a breed that will expose every gap in your patience, your consistency, and your self-control. They'll also show you a kind of loyalty you didn't know was possible. When a Rottweiler decides you're their person, you stop being just an owner. You're now the center of their mission. They'll watch you from across the room without blinking. They'll follow you into the kitchen, into the bathroom, into the backyard, just to make sure you're fine. They'll plant themselves at the front door when someone knocks. They'll give strangers a look that says, choose your next move wisely. It's breathtaking to experience, but it's also a lot to carry, because they're always reading you. Your tone, your posture, your mood. If you're distracted or inconsistent, they'll notice. And when they notice, they'll adapt, sometimes by taking control. That doesn't mean they're suddenly dangerous. It means they're stepping into the leadership role you left open. The silence comes from knowing how hard it is to explain that without people misunderstanding. Rottweilers need more than love and walks. They need structure, a job, a sense of purpose. If you skip it, they'll create their own, which might mean deciding who's allowed in the house, where you can sit on the couch, or which neighbors are suspicious. This is where the right tools make all the difference. I've linked my personal Rottweiler essentials in the description. Gear that saves me stress every single day. The tactical harness that keeps you in control without strain when 100 pounds of muscle decides to shift direction. The e-collar with remote for precise communication, because they react faster than you can shout. Joint support chews to protect those powerful hips and shoulders from years of impact. And the puzzle toy that finally makes them stop staring at you for 5 minutes while still working their brain. Without these, every task is harder than it needs to be. With them, you're setting yourself and your dog up for success. But tools alone aren't enough. You need to understand how a Rottweiler thinks. They're strategic. They remember what worked for them before. If they got away with ignoring "come" once, they'll try it again. If they learned that leaning into you gets them a scratch, they'll use it when they want you to move. They are masters of subtle influence. Here's a scenario most owners never talk about. You're out on a walk, and another dog barks at your Rottweiler from across the street. Your Rottweiler freezes, lifts their head, and just stares. They don't lunge, they don't bark. But they've made a mental note. If that dog gets too close, your Rottweiler already knows how they'll respond. And in that split second, they're also watching you. If you tighten the leash, raise your voice, or break eye contact, they'll file that away too. They learn you just as much as you learn them. Living with a Rottweiler means living with a constant feedback loop. They'll match your calm when you're steady. They'll feed off your tension when you're stressed. If you're not intentional, they'll start running the emotional climate in the room. And it's not just about control, it's about trust. They have to know you'll handle whatever comes. If they suspect you won't, they'll handle it for you. That might mean barking at a delivery driver, standing between you and a stranger, or refusing to let a guest move freely in your home. That's the part most owners stay silent about, not because they're hiding something shameful, but because they know it's complicated. Rottweilers aren't good or bad in those moments. They're doing what they think needs to be done, which means it's on you to teach them what really needs to be done. And here's where it gets heavy. This isn't a once-a-week job. It's every day. From the moment you wake up to the moment they curl up at your feet, you're leading, teaching, guiding. Skip a day and they'll notice. Skip a week and they'll start rewriting the rules. But here's why we do it. Because in return for that consistency, that leadership, you get a companion like no other. They don't just love you, they're invested in you. They don't just live in your home, they claim it as part of themselves. They'll be the first to greet you and the last to leave your side. They'll watch over your kids like they're made of gold. They'll learn your daily routine so well, they'll know when you're running late before you do. That's why most Rottweiler owners don't talk about the hard parts. Because for every challenge, there's a moment that makes it worth it. Like the time your Rottweiler sits by the window, patiently watching for you to come home. Or the way they press their head into your chest when you've had a bad day. Or how they quietly move to stand between you and someone they're not sure about without making a sound. If you're thinking about getting a Rottweiler, understand this. They're not just another pet. They're a commitment, a responsibility, and a reflection of the person you choose to be. Start with the right tools. The harness, the e-collar, the joint chews, the puzzle toy. Use them every day. Pair them with patience, structure, and the willingness to show up even when it's inconvenient. Because if you do that, you won't just have a Rottweiler, you'll have a legend. And if you already have one, share your story. Tell me about the time they made you laugh, or the time they left you speechless. The world needs to know what it's really like, even if most owners prefer to stay silent. But remember, with a Rottweiler, it's never about whether you can handle them. It's about whether they decide you're worth following.